SimVT is a new workflow tool in Oasys LS-DYNA version 21 that makes it easy to perform simulation versus test correlations. This is an essential step in the automotive virtual testing frameworks, but SimVT is a versatile tool which can be used to compare any two data sources. In this video, I'm going to cover a quick start guide for how to use SimVT when conducting a sensitivity study. So I've opened a fresh session of THIS. To start with, I'm going to load in multiple models. So I'm going to select a directory with 3 sets of results, and one of these is going to be my baseline, and the other 2 are going to be compared against the baseline. So I'll load in these 3 models, M1, 2, and 3, apply. Now, because I have the Open Menu Automatically option checked, and THIS was able to find workflow data for at least one of the models I loaded in, the Workflows window has appeared. I can click on SimVT, and I'm going to use it with multiple models and select M1, 2, and 3, and then run. Close the Workflows window here that I won't need anymore. We can see 3 models have been read in, and one of them has 2 fewer channels than the others. Now, there could be a number of reasons why certain channels aren't imported, but generally it's because the LS-DYNA results don't contain information for those channels. So it could be because you didn't request that data, or because in order to extract that data, other files, for example, ZTF files, are required. Now, all 3 of these models are actually LS-DYNA simulations, but for the purpose of the sensitivity study, I'll need to select one of them, the baseline, to be my reference. So I'll select M1. It moved from being a simulation to reference, and M2 and M3 are automatically selected. If I want to change the selected simulations, I can click on them, and holding down Shift, I can select multiple at a time. For this demonstration, I'm not going to use any protocols, but I will change the method to be Cora. Now we can see that we have 294 selectable channels and 294 channels imported, so all the channels are selectable. For this demonstration, I'm just going to filter on the seatbelt channels, so using SEBE, and we can see that M3 is missing the 2 channels that it wasn't able to import, but I can still select them all and correlate them, and we'll see the results appear. Notice again that for these last 2, only M2 is shown, but for the other ones we have M2 and M3. So now we can perform our sensitivity study. For this, I think it will be easiest to change the layout to be 2 by 2, since we're working with 2 models. And let's have a go plotting the first ones. So here we can see the difference, M2 versus M1 and M3 versus M1. We can see that the M3 results deviate much more than the M2 results. So whatever it was that was changed in M3 has affected the seatbelt X force. We could repeat this for the Y force. We can see that there's a similar deviation. This maybe occurs around 55 milliseconds, whereas for M2 it matches much more closely with the reference baseline M1. If I expand the ratings, I can see more of the results, and I can click on any of them to highlight them. Now these results here are for cross-correlation, so I might want to turn them on. I can turn them on by selecting the plot cross-correlation option here. And now we can see that we have the cross-correlation plotted. Notice how the Y force is plotted, but it isn't shown here. And that's because it's on the next virtual page here. So if I move across that page, I'll see the results there. I can turn on FOZ, and I can jump to it in multiple ways. I could select it in the table here, or I could select it in the drop-down list here. And now I might like to change the layout to see all of them in one page. So let's change it to be 2 by 6 high. And then we can turn off the legend to give us some more room to inspect the results. Now I've established that M2 correlates well with M1, and that's corroborated by the good total rating that each channel achieves. So I'm going to turn off the M2 plots and just plot 2 by 3 for M3. If I press back and I remove plotting M2 by just selecting M3 and press correlate, we'll see that the table has updated to only show the M3 rows. This quick start guide highlights some of the features of SimVT that you might like to use when conducting a sensitivity study. In summary, I showed you how you can load multiple models into SimVT, how you can change the selected reference tests and simulations, how you can change the correlation method, how you can filter the selected channels to only show those matching the search string, In this example, I showed you the seatbelt string, how you can change the graph layout, how you can plot and compare the corridor and cross-correlation plots for multiple models, how you can change to a different virtual page, how you can highlight the graphs for individual channels, how to remove the legend from plots, and also how to update the correlation table by pressing back. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful and feel free to reach out to us with any questions, comments, and requests.